Okay, so it's decided, Rob decides that, okay, we're going to split up. A whole lot of stuff had happened up until that. Someone actually was trying to, like, date rape me. It's pretty bad. But the same way that you weren't, like, really jealous of me and you let anybody be around me. Remember how Dallin was, like, touching me and scaring me and stuff? Rob was kind of the same way, okay? So what happened was, hold on, let me pause. So an old friend of mine, Giovanni, had moved over and he actually sold weed. And as you know, I need it every once in a while. And I hadn't been smoking it for a while. But Rob had been cheating on me a lot, okay? And this is after my pregnancy. And I'm going through postpartum at this point. And I'm really, really having a hard time because I've got women sending him poems. And I'm literally looking for through the desk for a pen, and there's a poem in there. And I'm like, oh, how cute. I think he's working on a love poem for me. It's a poem from a woman who worked at 911, who later gave him her phone so that he could screw me over. Because nobody had cell phones then. She gave him a cell phone given to her by the state for her job and let him use it to trick and torture me. Okay, so what happened was this poem was talking about the two kites. They're eternally attracted to one another, but every time they get close enough, a wind repulses them away as much as they want to intertwine. It was all innuendo and sexual, okay? And any wife would have been like, are you kidding me? I never even told him I saw it. I found his little black book. It was full of not men names, women names. That's why I call it a little black book and not just a regular telephone book or address book. Nope. I look in it, it's woman after woman after woman with her favorite color, her birth date, her children's names, where she lives. That's weird. That's weird. Okay? It's normal to put a woman's name down. It's normal to put her number down. It is not normal to put all those personal details that he had in there. Everything from her sign. I'm starting to wonder if he's into witchcraft as well. And yes, this is being filmed. Okay? So, what happened was, he said, I need you to get a job. I just had a baby. Okay. I need you to get a job. I'm like, okay. I come back and he sold my van. Where's my van? That's what I was homeless in before I even met him. And I mean, that was always like my security. I even told him that this is here just in case there's a problem. Maybe there's a storm, we'll always have it for camping. He said that the management of the park had said that it was an eyesore. So he had to sell it. He sold it on Friday. Monday, he drove me to work and never came to pick me up. I was supposed to be picked up at 5. Where are you? I'm calling him, no answer. I'm calling everyone, no one's answering. I don't know what's going on. Finally, about midnight, someone drives me home and there's not a stick of furniture left in my house. He's taken everything my son had, my cribs, everything. None of it belonged to him. This is all stuff I had for my previous children. He took everything, even the phones. This place was bare, like you're renting it out. So I ran across the street to use their phone because there was an advertisement at the Maverick across the street. This is on 56 West. 58 West, excuse me. I think, no, Maplewood Estates. I think that's 63rd, isn't it? Okay, so 63rd. So I go running. The Maverick had said that some people had escaped from the local prison and that they were on the loose. So I thought, oh my God, because Rob was at home with the kids during the day. What if these people came to our house? Because we're like in the middle of nowhere out there at that time. Remember, weren't built up like that. So what if they came to our house, grabbed everything, put it in a moving van to sell it along the way, and took my family as hostage? That's how my brain worked, okay? Number one, I've been through a lot already. Number two, how many other unbelievable things have happened to me? Number three, what else could this be? I didn't even know he was mad at me. Do you understand what I'm saying? What had happened was Giovanni, who was a friend who I told you sold weed, when I started having the panic attacks, he came over to the house when Rob was working, And I fell asleep. He was waiting. He said he needed a ride from Rob. Okay. I don't know if he put something in the weed. That's why I say I think it might be date rape. I don't know. Rob says that when he got there, he found me in the same room with him. Not the same bed, but the same room. That's still bad. Does that make... Because, see, Rob had his own room. I had my own room. Okay? It was me and the baby in here, so he could sleep in there. You know what I mean? And so I was in my room, the last I remembered. Okay? But he says that he woke me up in his room. Okay? So I'm like, okay. That's just not... You know me. If I would have cheated on anybody, it would probably been you. Not to be mean. Okay? But honestly. So... I'm like, what? Okay. And now I think he set me up. Now that I'm going through it, I think he wanted me to not know how to fight, because that's how a narcissist will do. A narcissist will set you up in a situation. See, I didn't know any of this stuff back then. They'll set you up in a situation where you feel and look guilty, so you can't defend yourself from anything because your brain is short-circuiting. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I come home, my family's gone, I'm scared. I run across the street to use their phone because there's no phones. We didn't have anything then. I go across the way, and 2 pit bulls start biting me. I mean, biting the shit out of me, okay? Because I scared them. I didn't know they were out there. They're black. I ran up to go use the door. And you know how those doors are raised up in mobile home parks, right? So I'm looking up here and looking inside of somebody's home. I don't even see the dogs are right here. So they come running at me, and they start biting me. Not one real wound. It hurt like a mofo, but no blood. I could feel sore spots later. You could see little dents. But there was no ripping, no tearing of flesh. I told them what happened. They let me use the phone. I called the police, reporting my family missing. She goes, he has a protective order against you. Tell me you wouldn't have that reaction. I was like, what? So I go back to my house, and I'm in Twilight Zone. There's nowhere to sit. Even my makeup's gone. Everything's gone. Oh, by the way, when I went to use the phone, Marcy across the way, she said, oh, no, your family wasn't taken, while I'm on the phone. Oh, no, your family wasn't taken. Your husband came with a bunch of nurses today, and they took all your stuff. I thought you were moving. Huh? I told the police. She says that she thought we were moving. She goes, he has a protective order against you. I was like, what? At this point, I couldn't do anything. And I didn't even get the weed. So I went and laid down on the ground. I haven't even smoked weed yet. I was just about to start smoking weed again because of the postpartum. And guess what happened when I called my doctor? I called Dr. I'm trying to think of his name right now. I will remember it. Yamaguchi. Dr. Yamaguchi. And I left a message. I actually asked Rob, I said, could you please tell him to call me? I'm having postpartum depression. I didn't know postpartum yet. I knew depressed. I said, I'm feeling very depressed. I don't get depressed. You know that. Even through hell. I'll be mad for a few minutes, and then God helps me shake it off. But I wasn't shaking it off. And I didn't have weed. And see, weed breaks mind control. And I was under mind control. I didn't know that he was manipulating me into being this narcissistic abuse wife where he could have his little side hose, okay? So I'm on the ground, just sad as all get out. I was telling you about the doctor, Dr. Yakamura. Do you know what he did? He left me a phone message because I wasn't able to answer the phone. I heard the phone ringing, but I couldn't get up. About 5 minutes later, I was able to get up. And it was so hard to walk over there. That's the devil. I pick it up and I listen to the message, and this is the message almost word for word. Yeah, hey, Jamie. Yeah, Dr. Yakanura. Nice to talk to you. I hope you're all right. Rob just told me today that you're suffering from some kind of depression. You know? So, yeah, we know that with you, that's just not going to happen, you know. But, you know, if you're still having any problems with that or anything, give me a call. I'm not going to fucking call you. You think this is a fucking joke? I'm dying? And you think this shit's funny? Fuck no, I'm not going to talk to you. I need weed. And I told God, you did this to me. I want my weed. This man's cheating on me. I've been put through hell. I've done nothing but right. I did have premarital sex. Now I'll admit that should be a judgment. But I was like, I'm going back to smoking my weed. Also, I was hearing through the church and people that weed wasn't the problem. It was the fact that it was illegal. It wasn't the weed that God's against. God's against alcohol, but he's not against weed. He was very clear. They showed me in section 89. It was a bishop whose wife smoked weed. He goes, my wife's problem isn't that she's smoking weed. And I'm not even supposed to tell you about it, but it's my own wife, so I can tell you. And I'm not going to tell her about you because I'm not allowed to. He goes, but where you and my wife are going wrong isn't the weed. It's that we're supposed to follow the laws of the land. So go forth and change the laws of the land. And I did that. God saw me do it. So what ended up happening is I lost my whole train of thought. Hold on. About the weed. I got off on the weed thing. Oh, okay. So I didn't even get my weed yet. He's gone. No furniture. Because remember, the devil's watching all this. Okay. So I'm on the ground. I can't even pray. I'm mad at God at this point right now. Carrie Ann comes over next door because she sees a light on. I didn't know then, but she was a meth head. So she was really looking to see if we'd left something behind she could sell. She saw me on the ground. And she's like knocking on it. And I turn my head. And I can see her, but I cannot physically get up. I think God was trying to show me part of what Joseph Smith went through. Because demons will hold you down. Okay? And it was sadness, but that's a demon. Okay? So I couldn't move, but I did turn my head. And I looked at her. Because I was on like this, but my head was this way. Then I heard her. So I turned my head like this. And I took every bit of energy I had. And she's like, open the door. Open the door. And I couldn't do anything. And I was trying to say I can't. And tears were coming out. So she smashed the window. She climbed in. And she said, what happened? What happened? And I rolled on my back and I started telling her. And that was breaking the spell. So I sat up. I could sit up now. And I was telling her what had happened to me. She goes, you need weed. So she literally stood up, picked me up by my hand, pulled me up, walked me next door, and started and smoked me out. And that's what broke the whole thing. And then she got me a job at Totems. That's how that happened. So I find out that he's got a protective order against me. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to have to go to an attorney. I start figuring out how to talk about this legal situation. And I get down there and they tell me, the way Rob has it set up, they called me at home, okay? I'm at home. And they're like, gosh, Jamie, we heard what happened. Harsh. We want you to know we're your friends too. We all know Rob, we all know him. Because he was considered the slut of SHP at that point. He would literally call Trisha from Marcy's bed. Marcy and Trisha just happened to have the same exact voice. I couldn't tell them apart. And I'm good at voices. He couldn't either. So they started testing him. And would find out he would literally call from one bed. He'd be talking to the other from her bed. So they figure this stuff out, right? So they both go meet him at the Salt Lake City airport. They're standing together. He sees them. He's walking towards them. He makes a quick exit stage left, grabs his bag, hits a taxi, and left them both standing there. Marcy was supposed to go pick him up. Trisha came with her. He wasn't about to get in that car because he knew damn well he was the biggest liar ever. So what ended up happening is these people call me, we know Rob. We want you to know we're your friend too. Okay. And she goes, you sound sad. And I go, well, yeah, of course I'm sad. And she goes, why don't you come have lunch with me? So I was like, okay. So I go. I don't know he's boning her too. Okay, because that's how narcissists is. They have a rotation. And when they wear out one person or, they don't get along, they go to the next person. But they always keep people in a holding pattern, okay? So I'm in the lunchroom with her. And she's like, oh, you poor thing. And, I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I didn't realize she was trying to provoke my trauma, okay? She was trauma bonding with me. And so she gets me to crying. She goes, that's so unfair that he would do that. So I feel I have a listening ear. And I start to weep a little bit. And I'm not a big, loud blah person. But I did have a couple tears. She uses that excuse, gets up, tells me she's going to go get a drink. Talks to the security guard. Security guard comes over to me and says, may I speak to you for a minute? And I said, yes, sure. And he goes, could you come with me? Could you come with me? And then they take me into a private patient room from the lunchroom. I'm thinking they're going to tell me something about my husband. Oh, wait. Okay. I almost mixed up two stories because another one happens after.